Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be telling you about a upcoming hurricane that might hit the Floridas and these states. Turn it down. And so yeah, let's get right into it. So Aaron is supposed to be becoming a Category 3 hurricane this weekend. By Sunday, he will be right here. The GFS model is saying that Aaron will be passing the US, but it's probably gonna happen. I don't know, but so after Aaron goes past like Bermuda Triangle on the 22nd to the 23rd, there's another one that's forming right here, and then it's gonna be coming, and then it's gonna hit the Cobra. It's gonna hit the islands over here, like these islands, and then the next day it will hit Florida, and then it hasn't fully updated, but it's gonna move from, so the path is probably like this, but it might change, and this might go to Virginia and North Carolina's area.
Why did it sound like you said North Carolina?
No, North Carolina's because of the high pressure probably pushing it into the Carolinas and, well, Virginia, which is where I'm at. And then, yeah, there's also snow that's up in Canada. If you guys live in Canada, I don't know which part of Canada that is, but it is a part of Canada. So, yeah, so as you can tell, it's not fully updated. It has like a few more hours until it's done updating. So in the morning, it will be, oh wait, this is August 12th. This is today, so the air temperature will be in the mid 70s to the 60s, and in the 80s around these areas. Same with 40s, and up in Canada there's a lot of 40s. Maine there's 48, 61. But as we move to the afternoon for August 15th, you can see that the air temperature gets a lot more hotter than usual because of this heat wave, like mid 80s, 90s, up in Texas, Louisiana, Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, Virginia, the 80s in Pennsylvania, New York, and all these states. But Washington and this part of Washington and this part of, or I don't know the state, only 12, and they are lucky they're in 60 still. Sorry, I might be like trying to pop my neck throughout this video because it's hurting really bad. And so as we go into the morning, tomorrow at 2 a.m. You can see the time here. 50s, 40s again. Nevada, freaking that weather. Texas is in the 80s. Virginia and these states are in the 60s. And so, as we go into the day in the afternoon tomorrow, it's supposed to get like the same as the day today, like mid 80s, 90s for these regions, but still Washington and these three states, not these states, but these three states are still in the mid 50s, 60s, and as we move to the 2 a.m. the 17th, and as you can tell, in the morning there's a lot of 50s and 60s, but as you move to these states, it's 60s and 70s, but Texas, Oklahoma, Mississippi, all those states are unlucky because they are still in the warmth. Same with New Mexico over here and a little bit of California. They're a little bit in the heat, but as you move to the afternoon again, there's another big heat for the air. The air is gonna be insane these past couple of days. As you move to the afternoon on the 18th, which is Sunday, not that day, but Sunday, I'm not gonna be online or something at like 7 o'clock at night because I'm not gonna be able to be online because I'm going to see Ninja Turtle movie because it's coming back for its 30-something year anniversary, and my parent is a very big fan of Ninja Turtles, so yeah. So as you can tell, 40s, 50s, 60s, 80s, almost the 90 here. We might, and as we go into 2 p.m. on the 18th, you see that Washington and these states get to warm up a little, but these states are just getting a punch in the face by the heat, bro. Like Texas, Oklahoma, these states, all of these states, the Upper Valley and stuff. As you go to 2 a.m. on the 19th, you see up here, Canada is getting hit by a cold front. Same with these states. And as you can tell, in the mid 30s, which Virginia, it's rarely to get that type of weather. And still in the 80s over at Texas and the other states. Same with Florida. And we go to the 19th. You can see that it starts to cool down in Virginia and the other and North Carolina. You can see that the heat is either moving that way, is moving this way, and there's a cold front moving down this way, because these Pennsylvania, New York are getting in the mid-60s, and as you can tell, I'm right, because at 8 p.m. on the same day, the heat from over here moves over to this area, which makes it warmer, as you can tell, 90s and 80s over here, and then it moves back down the next day, which is Tuesday, August 19th, which it makes it like a little bit warm, but like mid 80s, mid 90s in my city. As you also can tell, there's a massive cold front coming in through the upper valley. And as you can tell, as we can shut up now. As we can tell, I'm also right again, because as you can tell, earrings right there. It goes down in the 50s and 60s in the Mid Valley, and 60 and 70 in my part of the country. Same with over here, but it is a little bit warm in the bottom left corner of California. Same with New Mexico, like right here. So yeah, and then we go to 2 p.m. August 20th. You can see that it gets a little bit warmer, but as you can tell, Texas and all these states get hit in the face by heat again, but it cools down again throughout the night. 70, 60, 70, 80, and 30s up in Canada, as you can tell. The list of stuff is like right here. And so as we go into the afternoon on the same day, as you can tell, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and parts of Virginia, the upper valley, is in the mid 70s and 60s. But as you can tell, what I said earlier in this video, that the heat from down here is gonna move upwards into these states. So yeah, I guess I was right, because as we go into 2 a.m. August 22nd, I am running out of breath. You can see that the whole state of Pennsylvania gets a cool down, because they're in the mid 50s to 60s. Same with Maine and all these states. You can tell it's like fall weather, and it will feel nice like up here and in Virginia. As you can tell, later in the day, it's gonna be cooler than usual. It's gonna be like 60s to mid 70s in Virginia. But as you can tell, in Pennsylvania and New York and Maine and all those states, you guys are in the mid 70s to mid 80s. So yeah, and then by 8 p.m. funny number. It's a funny number. sorry, out of the script. Well, not script, out of the video. As you can tell, later in the day, you can tell that California and Nevada and New Mexico gets hit by the heat in the air temperature, because by 8 p.m. they're at 111 degrees. That's what the feels like because of the stuff. And then you go to the next day, 2 a.m. Here's 2 p.m. You can see that it warms up a little bit in the mid Carolinas and Virginia, but yeah. And in California, these states, they're still getting hit by the 100-degree weather, like at 8 p.m. That one, as you can tell, they get hit again. They get hit again by another heat. They get hit by so much heat, like Washington, these states, Texas, California, Nevada, Utah, Idaho, all of these states gets hit by heat. And then you go to the 2 p.m. on August 24th, which is not next week, but the week after next week. It's the 24th. Looks like it's gonna be a good day for me and my brother to go to Ocean Breeze Water Park on the 23rd, because it's in the mid 80s is what the air temperature is. But the 24th is like a little different. It's like it gets a little bit warmer, but not that much. And you can tell we get hit by heat and then cools down again, which makes no sense. So here's the total amount of rain and snow and all this stuff from today, August 15th, to August 30th. So as you can tell, it's not gonna rain that much, but you can tell that there's a few spots of rain throughout today. As you can tell by the 17th, there's a lot of rain that's right here in these states, and then you can see Aaron coming. He passes the U.S., which his path's like this way, and then you can see the total accumulated throughout the Mid-Valley, Virginia, and the Carolinas and stuff. It's like a few inches of rain, like a quarter of an inch, and then you go, and then you see that other hurricane that I talked about in the beginning of the video, that it hits Florida with like it hits the Carolinas, Georgia, and Florida with a lot of rain. Like, I'm talking like 24, 20, 16, like 12 to 20 inches of rain. This might be like a category 3, like Aaron is supposed to be, but but I will make sure to make another update on this hurricane tomorrow after all the stuff is updated and stuff, of course. So yeah, there is a current hurricane and there's another one coming which will produce a lot of rain for the Carolinas, Georgia, Florida, and all those states. Hope you guys liked this video. Hit the bell button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.